Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. News. I'm your presenter, Nerissa Sandy, with the details. In the news, the Ministry of Agriculture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in a release, has noted that from March 1, 2023, it will be zeroing the importation of butternut squash for the months of March, April, and May. This is as a result of a significant increase in the local supply of butternut squash. Butternut squash was introduced as a diversification commodity in 2018, and several producers have increased their production and are consistent in quality and quantities. In a press release, Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar noted that while a 25% reduction on the overall food import bill is a very ambitious target, that for some commodities the island can become self-sufficient. The Ministry of Agriculture is expected to make several announcements throughout the year to inform food importers of the supply of locally produced commodities, leading to the zeroing of the importation of those commodities whenever local supplies surpass the country's demand. There are 3 prospective investors interested in the Otley Hall Marina and Shipyard, with all 3 of them having already made visits to the facility. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves while speaking in Parliament last week. The Prime Minister said that the plan is to rehabilitate the facility, including the dry dock. Here is the Prime Minister.
We are currently holding discussion with at least 3 prospective investors. One from Guyana, one from Trinidad, and one from St. Lucia. Actually, the person from St. Lucia yesterday was supposed to be touring the facility in respect of his proposal, and I'm told that he did so. The gentleman from Guyana, the potential investor from Guyana, and the one from Trinidad, they have also visited the facility.
That was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves speaking in Parliament last week. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has ramped up border surveillance at all ports of entry in the fight against the importation of illegal firearms. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during his ministerial statement in the House of Assembly last week. Prime Minister Gonsalves noted that the data indicates that the primary source of these firearms is the United States of America. He also said that while he acknowledges that the Biden administration in the USA is paying some attention, both in respect of illicit export controls and tracing, there is still more that needs to be done on their part. Here is Dr. Gonsalves.
But we are asking the United States to be more proactive in cooperation with us on this matter of illicit firearms exported from the USA. We are requesting that the federal government in the United States take to its Congress for ratification the United Nations Treaty on Small Arms, which covers assault weapons, and to implement a practical and stringent regime to control the export of illicit weapons.
That was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves speaking in Parliament last week. In the region, the Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Management Company, Orlando Atherley, says the agency should bring in $4.2 million Barbados dollars in revenue from the sale of locally branded packages of sugar exports that will be sold to the United States during this year's harvest, which starts today, Monday. Atherley told Barbados Today that the country recently secured a contract to sell the United States 2,500 tons of packaged sugar each year. Speaking with the publication, Atherley said the market was recently secured. Still in the region, in Guyana, the United Kingdom's Minister of State with responsibility for overseas territories and Commonwealth, Energy, Climate and Environment, Zach Goldsmith, says Guyana is recognized globally for its efforts in preserving its pristine forest and natural resources, as the country has one of the lowest deforestation rates. Speaking while on a 2-day visit to communities in the region, that's in Region 9 in particular, Goldsmith said that Guyana boasts one of the best forest management systems in the world. According to Caribbean Mood News, he explained to residents that human beings must repair the abusive relationship with its natural resources to address the issue of climate change. And on the international scene, huge rallies have been held in several Mexican cities against what protesters say are government attempts to undermine the electoral authorities. The biggest was in Mexico City, where organizers say 500,000 people marched on the city's main plaza. The local government put the number at 90,000. According to the BBC, lawmakers last week voted to slash the budget of the National Electoral Institute and cut its staffing. On Sunday, massive crowds gathered in Mexico City's historic Zocalo Square, and demonstrators spilled out into adjoining streets in the city center. Smaller peaceful demonstrations were staged in several other cities. This brings us to the end of WEFM's 3 o'clock news. Our next newscast will come your way at 5:30 this evening. I'm Nerissa Sandy. Thank you for listening.